Hello, I'm Mohsen Jamal and you watch Afghannews. President Hamid Karzai left Kabul on Tuesday for Kazakhstan to deliver a speech at a summit of Central Asian nations and hold talks with other regional powers. His office said he will present the views of Afghanistan on regional cooperation, the war against terrorism, counter-narcotics and economic cooperation. It said in a statement, Karzai is traveling with his foreign minister and national security advisor and will also hold talks with leaders from China, Iran, Kazakhstan and Russia during the two-day visit. Afghanistan has been invited as a guest to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a regional security group that is dominated by China and Russia. India, Iran, Mongolia and Pakistan have observer status. Afghan police in an operation against insurgents killed a Taliban key commander in Herat province. Deputy to Provincial Police Chief said on Tuesday. Dilawar Shah Dilawar said that based on intelligence information, the National Police launched a special operation to capture an insurgent commander in Chesh district Monday night. But upon arrival of police forces in the area, a gunfight broke out and as a result, Said Mirza, Taliban key commander, was killed. According to Dilawar, after the killing of Mirza, who is responsible for coordinating and conducting subversive activities and attacks in the district, a total of 15 of his fighters laid down their arms and surrendered to police. The police officials insisted that no civilian or policemen were injured during the raid. The United States is seeking to split the UN sanctions list for Taliban and Al-Qaeda figures into two as part of a bid to induce the Taliban into talks on a peace settlement in Afghanistan, diplomats said on Monday. The move comes as Washington prepares to start pulling out its 97,000 troops in Afghanistan next month as part of a process to hand over all combat operations against Taliban insurgents to Afghan security forces by 2014. Diplomats said the United States had put forward two resolutions about the sanctions list to other members of the 15-nation Security Council. The sanctions subject those named on the list to travel restrictions and asset freezes. The Council is scheduled to vote on Friday to renew the mandate of an 8-person team of experts that helps the Council Sanctions Committee to maintain the list. Western officials said they hoped the resolutions could be ready by then. Gunmen have stormed an Iraqi provincial council building in Baquba after two car bombs exploded outside, killing at least 8 people and wounding dozens more. Police and health officials said 2 car bombs were set off outside the government compound in the city after which armed men attacked the building and took hostages, but later freed all the hostages. The attack in the Diyala province's capital is the latest test for Iraqi forces as they prepare for the planned withdrawal of U.S. troops at the end of the year. Iraqi forces have surrounded the council building where the armed men are still inside, with some members of the provincial council, police and local politicians said. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to prohibit the use of funds for U.S. military operations in Libya. Politicians adopted the amendment to a military appropriations bill by a vote of 248 to 163 late on Monday. A number of members of Congress have expressed their dissatisfaction at Barack Obama's U.S. President's decision to go ahead with operations in Libya in March and to continue without congressional authorization. According to U.S. law, the President must seek congressional authorization to send U.S. troops into combat and must withdraw the forces within 60 days if Congress has not authorized the military action. Meanwhile, fighting has been going on between forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan leader, and opposition forces on several fronts in Libya. Reports say hundreds of Syrians have been gathering on the northern border with Turkey, preparing to cross over if the Syrian army advances further into the area after seizing the rebellious town of Jisr al-Shughur. Syrian security forces announced on Sunday they had retaken Jisr al-Shughur after army troops backed by helicopter gunships and tanks moved into the northern town. Almost 7,000 Syrians have so far crossed the border with Turkey to escape violence, and an estimated 10,000 more are waiting for the opportunity to cross. The uprising, now in its third month, seeks an end to Bashar al-Assad's one-party rule, more political freedom, and an end to the corruption and poverty. Zainal Abidin bin Ali, Tunisia's former president who fled to Saudi Arabia in January, will be tried in absentia. Tunisia's interim prime minister said on Monday. Beji Kait Sepsi said that bin Ali's trial will start on June 20th and will be tried in a military and in a civilian court, but in a statement released by his French lawyer, Ben Ali said Ben Ali has claimed the trial as a masquerade. Ben Ali fled to Jeddah after he was toppled by mass protests on January 14th after 23 years in power. Several members of his family and some of his closest allies were detained shortly after he was forced out. Tunisian authorities have been preparing several legal cases against Ben Ali, including conspiring against the state, voluntary manslaughter, drug trafficking, and peddling of archaeological artifacts. 7 U.S. Republican presidential contenders have met face-to-face in their first major debate, with Mitt Romney, the former Massachusetts governor, shaping up as the front runner for the 2012 race. The White House hopefuls criticized President Barack Obama's handling of the economy from the opening moments of their first major debate of the campaign season on Monday night. The nationally televised forum in New Hampshire on Monday included most of the top-tier contenders in the battle for the right to challenge President Barack Obama, who still leads the Republican hopefuls in most opinion polls. Romney leads the Republican pack in most polls, but is an easy frontrunner in a group that has drawn complaints from some in the party for being a weak field. And Japan's cabinet has approved a bill to help embattled Tokyo Electric Power Company compensate tens of thousands of people affected by the crisis at its Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, sending its shares soaring in Tokyo trading. The bill, which is yet to be approved by Parliament, will be the creation of a body to handle claims made against TEPCO and will be funded by public money as well as contributions from power companies. The government revised aid plan for TEPCO will include the purchase of its corporate bonds, stocks and assets to support the company's operations, but analysts warned that uncertainty is still surrounded the bill. Under the plan, TEPCO would be required to eventually pay back all funds it received from the organization. And that's all for now. Thanks for staying with us.